Savannah Chrisley reaches out to unhappy people this Christmas. Savannah Chrisley struggled and seemed unhappy this Christmas, so she reached out to others who felt sad. Naturally, the former Chrisley knows best star's mind was on the incarceration of Todd and Julie Chrisley. They just spent their first Christmas behind bars, so the days of pranking and joking through the festive season have gone now. Savannah Chrisley struggles with unhappiness. Birthdays and holidays can't be easy for families with relatives and loved ones in prison. For Todd and Julie, the holidays are not a happy time. Despite federal prisons making an effort for inmates, the memories of happier days make it hard. Knowing that they could be inside for a combined 19 years must feel devastating. Savannah Chrisley felt sad because she wasn't able to feel very thankful this Thanksgiving. So they planned a celebration without the usual traditions. However, friends saved the day, and the Chrisley Knows Best kids were able to spend time at Brittany Aldean's holiday home. However, it sounds like Christmas wasn't a very cheerful time. USA Network alums Todd and Julie in prison this Christmas. This time last year, Lindsay Chrisley, who reunited with her estranged father, spent time with Julie and Todd ahead of them reporting to prison. It was a bittersweet time for the family. USA Network fans reached out to try and comfort Chase, Savannah, Chloe, Kyle, Lindsay, and Nanny Faye. Not everyone thinks their parents had a fair trial, and many people are shocked by the severity of the sentencing. Savannah Chrisley got through Grayson's 17th birthday without her parents, and she managed to survive Easter. But by Christmas, she felt down according to people who cited her Instagram stories. The Chrisley Knows Best alum told followers that she didn't feel happy, and she reminded them it's okay to not jump on the happy wagon. That came when she said that she did some shopping for ingredients to recreate her mom's lunch. Savannah Chrisley reaches out to unhappy people. In a second story, the reality TV star said to other unhappy people at Christmas, "It's not clear how many sad people made their way to the house to spend time without forced Christmas cheer." As Christmas approached, Savannah Chrisley found herself reflecting on this season's true meaning. With the holiday lights twinkling outside and the sweet scent of cinnamon and pine filling the air, it was hard to ignore the fact that many people, particularly in her community, weren't feeling the joy they once had. In a world that often felt divisive and uncertain, Savannah knew that it was time to reach out. For Savannah, Christmas had always been a time for family and celebration, but she knew that not everyone shared the same sentiment. The holidays could bring about feelings of loneliness, loss, and struggle for so many. Having experienced her own personal challenges in the past few years, she understood more than ever how hard it could be to stay hopeful when life seemed to keep throwing curveballs. This year, Savannah decided to take a different approach. Instead of spending her time wrapped up in the usual holiday hustle, shopping, cooking, and getting wrapped in the whirlwind of seasonal activities, she felt a deep calling to reach out to those who were struggling. She wanted to be more than a celebrity on a screen. She wanted to be a voice of encouragement, a beacon for those who needed a little extra light during the darkest days of the year. It wasn't just about sending a card or posting an inspirational quote on social media. Savannah wanted to connect in a more personal way, so she began making calls. Her first call was to a fan who had reached out to her during one of her difficult moments. The woman had shared how she had been battling depression since the passing of her mother, and how Christmas had only intensified her grief. Savannah could relate. Losing a loved one during the holidays was something she had witnessed too many times. So she took the time to listen to the woman's pain, offering words of comfort and understanding. Savannah didn't try to fix everything, because sometimes there's no easy fix, but she offered her time and her heart. "I just want you to know that you're not alone," Savannah told her. You've got someone here who sees you, who hears you, and who cares." The woman's voice cracked with emotion as she thanked Savannah. It wasn't the first call Savannah had made, and it certainly wouldn't be the last, but it felt significant. It felt like something she was meant to do. Savannah's next outreach was to a local shelter where families who had fallen on hard times were staying. It was a cold winter's evening when she arrived with a basket full of hand-wrapped gifts for the children staying there. She was greeted with warm smiles, but also with eyes filled with uncertainty. Many of these families had faced unimaginable hardships over the past year. Some had lost jobs, others had lost loved ones, and some were simply caught in circumstances beyond their control. She sat down with a group of mothers who were working hard to hold things together for their kids. The women were exhausted, their faces lined with worry and stress. Savannah shared with them her own story of resilience, of overcoming life's obstacles. She didn't shy away from the tough stuff, but she also didn't dwell in it. She shared how hard it had been to see her family go through difficult times, but how they always found a way to come back together, no matter what. "You've got this," she told them. "I know it doesn't feel like it now, but you do. You are stronger than you know." The moms, many of whom had grown used to hiding their tears behind their smiles, began to open up. Savannah listened, laughed with them, and offered hope where there had been none. She made sure every child had a present, a small token of love and care. It wasn't about the material gift. It was about showing these families that they weren't invisible. That night, Savannah reflected on how much these small moments meant. There was so much joy in just being present, in offering a kind word, in reminding people that the season of love wasn't only about the big celebrations, but also about the quiet acts of kindness. But Savannah's outreach didn't stop with just one-on-one connections. She used her platform to amplify messages of encouragement to those struggling with loneliness and isolation. Every post on her Instagram had a deeper meaning this year. Her captions weren't just about holiday cheer. They were messages of inclusion, love, and empathy. She shared mental health resources, spoke openly about her own struggles, and encouraged her followers to check in on one another. Her message was simple. If you are struggling this Christmas, know that there is a way out. You do not have to suffer in silence. Reach out. You matter. You are loved. The response was overwhelming. Her inbox flooded with messages from people thanking her for her openness and for the reminders that they weren't alone. She received messages from people who had been on the verge of giving up but felt a renewed sense of hope after seeing her posts. Savannah was astonished at how deeply her words had resonated. But she also knew that these weren't just empty words. They were a reflection of her own heart. A heart that had been broken and rebuilt. A heart that had learned to love again, no matter what. On Christmas Eve, Savannah invited a few local families who had been struggling into her home for a special dinner. She didn't want them to feel out of place or embarrassed. She simply wanted to show them what true hospitality and compassion looked like. The evening was filled with laughter, music, and plenty of food. Savannah sat beside a young woman who had recently lost her job, encouraging her to never lose hope in herself. As the night drew to a close, Savannah took a moment to reflect on this season's true meaning. Christmas wasn't about the presents, the decorations, or even the parties. It was about showing up for others, about making sure that even in the darkest times, people knew they were seen, heard, and loved. This Christmas, Savannah Chrisley's gift was not wrapped in paper or boughs, but in the warmth of connection and the promise of hope. It was a reminder that no matter how hard life gets, there is always someone out there willing to reach out, and that sometimes that's the greatest gift of all.